time, but say in the 20s, who some of them, I asked one, oh, he died in 1911, da, 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 da. So I have them. My father's hero was Jack Johnson, not Joe Louis. Jack Johnson. There's 50 people killed when Jack Johnson won the championship. Lynched, right? See what I mean? I always heard from my father, Jack Johnson. So look at the combination. That old combination and their psychic, how they thought and implemented stuff. Then my generation, young, militant, one nigga can whoop 5 white folks, that stuff like that. Maybe it's not true, but that's what we felt. And it kind of seemed like it, because one white man would never jump on one Negro. 2 white men wouldn't jump on a Negro. 3 wouldn't jump on a Negro, or they got him out the way, they got him maybe 4 and up all the time. 5, remember it's always a gang of white folks jumping on one nigga. You ain't never know one white man who the guy would go behind, right? You don't even hear about it. In those days you didn't hear about it because it basically wasn't possible. But now you got to remember where. So we got those 2 generations, and then we got Islam. They could kind of manage the Islamic ideas and the black national ideas, but they can't combine. What would a nigga come up with when he can mix all of that old time Negro stuff, right? There's stuff in there that they don't have. They don't have it because we was coons in those days, right? They don't have it because when we did trick the white man was too embarrassed to say that nigga pulled one on me. But our parents told us how to trick the white man. What attitude to have. Yeah. When we went back to Arkansas, my brother went back with my father once. My brother was 13 when he left, say he was 15, 16 or something, 18 when they went back that time. So the big white man in town, my father and him was, well, so-called good friends. Ben Word, he owned the Cotton Inn, he owned all the stuff. You go there right now and they have Word Place and then the Garrett Place and then all that, the Marshall, you know. So, Mr. Word, so he knows I call him, Mr. Word said to my father, I miss you more than any nigga that ever left here. And my brother was, and my father grabbed me, boy, I better sit down and shut up. Because this is normal, this is what they do. He'd been to California for 3-4 years, and he wasn't ready to put up with that. But my father, he was born down there calling somebody a nigga ain't nothing, right? Nigga do this, you would think nigga was your name if you was just a little bitty baby. You would, what's your name? My name is nigga. Because that's all anybody ever called. Oh, I'm a little nigga. They got little niggas, medium size, they got big niggas. I'm a little nigga. Is that your name? Yes, ma'am, that's my name. Little nigga, right? You would think. Can you imagine? Now, we are 2-3 generations from that period. They ain't got nobody in the FBI. None, not a one. The ones that might have known, but they wouldn't really know, would have been, well, it had died way back 30, 40, 50 years ago. But they didn't even have no niggas in the FBI then. Right? So they're deficient. That's a blind spot for them, and I know it. Remember, everybody got blind spots, scatomas they call them. What we do, it's a blind spot for they can't see it. I don't care, you just can't see it. right? Because it's a blind spot. It's a psychological thing that prevents them from seeing the reality. The reality is there, but they can't see it because they've been programmed not to see it. We have to understand that and act in a way that it don't make the system feel comfortable, but the system, you have to treat it like what it is. It's a big kid that was really popular and strong and powerful. Now it's losing its strength and everybody catching up with it. You know what I mean? And he used to be the big bully. And he used to be, everybody liked him, you know. And now he's not that anymore. We gotta calm him down. That's okay, boss man, it's no problem. That's why we said in our talk the other day, we're not gonna take any advantage of anything perceived or discovered. As we go forward, if we find any weak spots in boss man or any perception of it that we didn't even see before, we're still not going to take advantage of it. Because our goal is to come right out of this, that the churches, the mosques, the synagogues, right, will solve the problem. Why would they solve the problem? Is because this is the training ground for the next stage. We trust we call the police for everything, right? Everything. We get welfare from everybody, the government. We call on the government for everything so that the government is a parent of us. The government take your driver's license if you don't pay child support. It's getting worse and worse and worse. We have to pull back from that by doing this ourselves. The churches, the mosques, the synagogue. Do all the social issues, right? We're just not doing it, that's all. The first thing we're going to do with the 100 million we get, we may bargain down to 50, but no farther than that. This is what we're going to do. This is what our goal is, to do this right here. This is our mission. This is what we're working on. We don't care whether the system believe it, or that don't have nothing to do. We're going to do good because everything that's done happened in life, my belief is that if it wasn't a mission for me personally to do, I wouldn't be here, because all the numbers you know what I mean? The incidents and the numbers and all of that other stuff. The police jump on a brother for anything, right? Shoot, I was riding down the street, my friend will tell you, Michael Marcus was driving. It was one of the longest cars in the world at that time. And he was driving. There's somebody on 94th East 14th, 93rd East 14th, between 92nd. He's a drunk guy, arguing with the police, and the police is beating him. I stopped the car and get out. I'm the most well-known guy in Oakland. And I tell the police, stop beating on that brother, man. What y'all doing? Now the police turn on me. We got an opportunity. So the police grabbed me and holding me from behind. Then they spray me with mace or something. Because to them, I don't have no right to talk to the police like that. And I got a mink hat on. They take the mink hat on and they jumping up and down on the mink hat. I said, these boys is crazy. They punched me in the stomach, and of course the punches didn't hurt at all. When your adrenaline's flowing, that stuff don't hurt at all. Or maybe I was just young and strong enough, it wasn't nothing. Then when we got in the paddy wagon, the guy that was drunk, he looked at me and said, "What the hell are you doing here? Like, why are you here?" So that's the moment I focus on doing right for right's sake. Because the people might be too drunk to realize that you just pulled the police off of them and got knots on your head, you know, to rescue them. And they don't even know. Why the hell are you here? I didn't even say that. The point is, no, this is, look, it's too many incidents that happen. I could do this stuff for hours and upon hour upon hour. This stuff has been happening all along. If it wasn't a reason for me being here, I wouldn't be here. I already know that. It's too many, mathematically it don't hold up. You know what I mean? If it wasn't a reason for me to be here, then I wouldn't be here. Now, since we're here, you have a right to choose the work you're going to do. You have a right to do. So you have a right to cause trouble, to destroy things, or you can say, hey, we're going to do good. We're going to do good, and that's what we're going to do. Brothers like this haven't done nowhere near the amount of stuff that we've done, but he's dead, right? This is our brother. This is a good brother. And here, he's the only one who's talking about Imam Jamil like he should. I don't know if you remember. I wasn't here when he was talking, but I know how he talked. Okay. But his son was almost on TV and they made a movie right after that. Remember that? Him and old Nashishi, Rami Nashishi. And they was both playing polices or something, right? You can say what they want. Never underestimate your children selling you out. If they do it, they can do it. If they can. I'm not saying he sold his daddy out. When I was in South Africa, he's over there as a comedian, you know, coming next week, you know, and he telling all them jokes. Yeah, I ain't never heard him say nothing about my father. You know what his son said about it? He called me and said, I want you to stop raising funds for my father. The lady called me, his wife from Tanzania, she was from Tanzania. Her and what's his name's wife was friends. The brother from Baltimore, they was friends. They was both from Tanzania. His wife was, what's his name's wife was a little lighter than a Tanzanian, so she's either a Chaga from up north. There's a light-skinned tribe called Chagas up north in Tanzania, or she's a little mix of one of them Arab Indian flavors down dark. Anyway, he called me and asked me not to raise no funds. And his wife called me and said, Imam Musa, we don't even have a gravestone for her. So I said, shoot, how much you need? He actually called, and at first I listened to him. After that, I said, I ain't listening to you no more. I went back to raising funds. Who the hell are you to call me and tell me to stop raising funds? We pay the gas bill. I said, how much is y'all gas bill? And everything. He said, $400, $409. I pulled out my card, using the card. I told Sister Bahia, call, give me the account number for y'all's bill, and they call in off my card and pay the bill. And they ain't got no money. The shady stuff. Dear Imam Jamil, hey. Now I told FBI the other day, and I talked. I said, if you want to be helpful, because they told me you need to help getting a relative or something, basically. He told me that at the door when he was going out. So now I'm saying, hey, if you want to help get somebody out of pen, go there tomorrow or day after tomorrow, fix up the paperwork and bring him on home. Right? Before he pass away, if you meant what you said. Right? Yeah. In fact, if you want to prove that you're all right, that's what I want you to do. You ain't getting nothing for it because I'm saying it publicly. But our promise is that if you do that, we won't do nothing to you. So you can take it or leave it. That is the dear brother. Why am I here? The revolution from Egypt to the Americas. Oakland and the Americans, it's not a revolution. We are on somebody's mind. Tell the truth. It ain't no, that's old anyway. 2011. Okay, all this old stuff. How to punk the FBI. You don't have nobody that have no program how to punk the FBI and make fun of them, right? In fact, there's nobody in the United States. Tell the truth. Have ever had a program like this? This simple program, how to punk the FBI, and we make fun of it. Did your mama buy that shirt for you? You know, that make an insult. Psychological guerrilla warfare, psychological guerrilla warfare. Repunk the FBI. Repunk the FBI. You punks, now you get repunked. And the old white man, this Donald Trump's advisor now, that the Hannity guy, I don't know if you ever read it on the internet, it says, United Kingdom punks Imam Musa. Right, because they know they kept me out. So that ain't punking me, that's just like you say I can't come to the United Kingdom. I said, fine, I've never been to Vermont, and I'm not going to Vermont, so you keep me out of England, I don't care. In other words, they got to be paying attention. They're paying attention. And now, remember, the only one that ever embarrassed Sean Hannity on TV in front of everybody, because it slipped up on him, right, is me. Who's Donald Trump's advisor today? Sean Hannity, right? That's what the white folks said. It might be lying. He may not be it. But did anybody hear that? He's an advisor. If he makes them mad, he goes back and says, I'm sorry I made you guys mad at Fox News. That's what he says every day. Okay, anyway. I'm not going to go with it. Let me try to explain a few more things and we'll call it a day. Explain in our own terms what is happening before our very eyes. So this is a note to myself. Explain what's going on. Okay. All the stuff we talked about.